What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're going to be taking a look at two Rakdos decks, and I think both of these are very interesting, but they do encompass some similar aspects, and so we're going to be taking a look at both of them today, and hopefully y'all will enjoy. Now, before we do kick off into this deck techs or deck breakdowns, I would like to remind everybody, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like down below and a comment in the comment section if you have any suggestions on this video, future videos, or past videos. Now, on into this deck tech. Alrighty, so kicking us off, we have 4 copies of Footlight Fiend, and I will go ahead and drop this as a note on the deck before I even kick it off. Obviously, this deck runs best with 4 copies of Witch's Oven and 4 copies of Cauldron Familiar, but in complete protest to that being allowed or that being in existence, I've decided to go with Footlight Fiend and only go with 2 copies of Witch's Oven, so that way we're not going full-blown asshole, I guess. But if you're looking to play the deck most efficiently, for sure, 4 copies of Cauldron Familiar, 4 copies of Witch's Oven. Now, all that being said, I did want to test out some more combos and some different things dealing with Aristocrats. So what we have here is 2 copies of Blood Aspirant, which I think is actually a really awesome card. It allows you to have different win conditions, and the fact that now you can make it to where your opponent's creatures can't block. And if you have something like a Dreadhorde Butcher or a very big Anax, that can be very deadly to your opponent. Furthermore, this card itself can get very big itself, which is, you know, really nice. And it can get very big all on its own. It has a sacrifice mechanic built into itself, and it gets bigger based off sacrifice. So, and it is based off any permanent that you sacrifice. So whenever you go to sacrifice your Fabled Passages down here, it will proc Blood Aspirant as well. Now, we do have 2 copies of Fling, and I think that this should be being played in a lot of Aristocrat decks that play Kroxa now, because Kroxa it has an interesting little mechanic, and you do need to go into full control for this. But when you play it, if you go into full control, it'll proc the first phase, right, where it deals the 3 damage or makes your opponent discard a card and potentially deal the 3 damage. But before it goes to sacrifice it, you can then fling it into your opponent's face, and so not only do you get that potential 3 damage, but you get another 6 damage from flinging it. So a lot of damage to be had there. Anax, I think, is another card that is being slept on right now in Aristocrats. This card has the potential to get very big, and then alongside something like Fling or just swinging in on its own, it can deal a ton of damage. So 2 cards that I really am favoring right now in Aristocrats that I think should be shown a little bit more love. Aside from those new cards, we are playing some cards that are out of Aristocratic meta, but that's because I want to try out Torbran and a more red-focused version of Aristocrats, where you're making these Mayhem Devils and Blood Aspirants and all that deal a ton more damage with Torbran. So, all that being said and out of the way, that's going to do it for the first deck tech or deck breakdown, and now we're going to go and hop right into the second one, which I'm really excited about. It's a Rakdos Draw to Death. So you actually make your opponent draw themselves to death, which is a very interesting mechanic to me. So the lead card for this deck is 4 copies of Underworld Dreams. Now, it reads, whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. So no matter what, even if you're not doing anything, this is going to deal 1 damage every time it becomes your opponent's turn for each copy you have down. Another very interesting deck to be made off of this is getting Underworld Dreams down and then copying it with Mirror Maid and, you know, so on and so forth. But this deck, this route that I've chosen to take, we're going to run Underworld Dreams, we're going to run Grey Merchant of Asphodel, since we are running a whole bunch of Black Devotion. Then we have 4 copies of Obnixilis, which honestly you could probably go down. 4 copies is a bit much, but you see where this is going, right? So Underworld Dreams is going to deal 1 damage every time your opponent draws a card. Obnixilis is going to deal 1 damage every time your opponent draws a card. Stormfist Crusader, you're each going to draw a card each turn, and you're each going to lose 1 life. So whenever they draw that card, if you have Underworld Dreams, it's going to deal 1 damage. If you have Obnixilis, it's going to deal 1 damage, and Stormfist Crusader going to deal 1 damage. So all that being put together, you can see how quickly it really adds up. And then since you're making your opponent draw so many cards, you don't want them to have just straight up card advantage over you, so we're playing things such as Kroxa, Burglar Rat, and Drill Bit to help mill our opponent. Now, we also have 3 copies of Foreboding Fruit in here, and I think this is a very interesting addition because it says target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So you can potentially make your opponent draw 2 cards, hit the proc off the Underworld and Obnixilis, and lose the 2 extra life. So altogether it'd be 6 life lost off of 3 mana, which isn't bad at all. Or if you yourself are looking to gain some card draw, you can cast this on yourself, and then you get the food token, of course, back, which makes up for the life lost. We also have Davriel to help keep our opponent's hands low, and as well as deal in a little bit of extra damage. Rankle really plays very, very well into this deck. And then, as I said, Grey Merchant, since we are playing so many black cards, the devotion should be very, very high. So, all that being said and out of the way, that's going to do it for both of our deck techs or deck breakdowns. Now, we're going to hop into new Aristocrats first, and then we'll hop into the Draw to Death. Caillou Koto going to be our first foe for the day, and this is going to be with our Rakdos new Aristocrats deck. So again, ideally, if you're playing this deck to the optimum, you're going to have a Cauldron Familiar here and the Witch's Oven, and you're going to immediately already have that combo of dealing a ton of damage. Now, since we are going the route we're going, we're not going to have that infinite loop, but that's perfectly fine. And granted, that can very much win or lose you the game, so keep that in mind as well. Doing what I'm doing, I do it because this is how I prefer to play the game. If you don't like playing the game like this, don't do it like this, okay? And that's all I got to say about that. Now we're going to wait on our Footlight Fiend. If their Pelt Collector is going to get bigger, then we'll sacrifice it. It is going to get bigger, so we will sacrifice it. Go ahead and take out that Pelt Collector, gain a food. Nessian Beetle, or Horn Beetle, I'm sorry. I've actually been very curious about that card myself, so I'm interested to see what direction they actually take this deck in. We are going to be getting a mountain here. It's actually funny, one of these Rakdos decks is very heavy focused on red, and one is very focused on black. So, kind of cool little, I don't want to say mirror, but splitting effect to the decks, right? Alright, we have Yorvo. That is going to proc the Nessian Horn Beetle to gain the counter, which is unfortunate. I think Nessian Horn Beetle could be exceptional. In all seriousness, I think it could be very, very exceptional. Well, we're at a bit of an awkward place mana-wise because we can either play a 3-mana creature or we can play an Angrath's Rampage. I think I'd still rather go with a Mayhem Devil here. Build up that mana a little bit on Steam-Kin and call it a turn. Now, we do need to get rid of that Yorvo and Nessian Beetle because obviously both of those cards have the potential to grow to heights that we can't possibly deal with, right? Uh-oh, there's some kind of fight clause coming along here. Alright, so they'll probably swing all in here if I had to guess about it. They should. They definitely should. I'm surprised I haven't seen any sort of fight like text. I definitely assume there would be. No swing in. Well, I'll take the break for sure. And then Annihilia comes down. Well, their side is getting very scary very quickly. Yeah, we need more land. I'd have 24 in the deck, but you wouldn't think it, huh? Alright, well, let's go ahead and make them sacrifice one of these key creatures that they have. And then we have 3 more mana for Runaway, so we can actually go ahead and play the Anax down. They choose to lose the Yorvo, which means Nihilea is no longer a factor. Now I could shoot the Horn Beetle and then swing in with the Mayhem Devil, but I don't think that's a very good trade. Of course, I could also do the Witch's Oven and sacrifice the Footlight Fiend, and there's 2 more damage, which means I would only need to deal 1 damage, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it this turn since I can't even get down Judith. If I could, that's a different story, but since I can't, we're just going to send it to the face, I think. And then, well, I take that back. We could have gotten there. We would have just had to sacrifice the food. So that is a misplay. We could have gotten rid of the Nessian Beetle on this turn, which would have actually board cleared their entire side. So huge misplay on my side, actually. Because, yeah, Witch's Oven on the Footlight Fiend. There's 2 damage. We had 1 damage already from the Angrath's Rampage. That's 3 altogether. And then sacrifice the food with Runaway Steam-Kin. And that's 4 damage, getting rid of the Nessian Horn Beetle. Now, instead, it's going to go up to a 5/5 and bring back the Nihilea with the Yorvo. If we had taken out the Nessian Horn Beetle, I don't think... Well, they played another one, so never mind. Still, it would have been nice to get rid of the first one, because now they just have a really, really big board, and it's going to be very difficult for us to deal with this. So they can go and swing in with the 5/6 and the 5/5 if they so please. They are going to. I I think we just take the 5 damage here. I don't want to block until I can make a decent trade out of it. Mayhem Devil is interesting because it allows for each sacrifice of a permanent to really mean something for us, but Judith is also very nice. I'm going to throw down the Judith, and next turn I guess we can get down the other Mayhem Devil. It's very unfortunate that we're playing on 3 lands here. It's very crippling actually when our opponent's seemingly drawing a playable card every single turn. They drew the mana to curve out just right. They have the Nihilate down to keep searching for more cards. Oh, they're not bottoming that. No way. That's way too spicy. You can't bottom it. Don't graveyard it. Because if you get it off, that's game. Oh, ho, ho, ho. What a loser. I mean, in this matchup, they're probably going to be a winner, but you know. So again, I'm not gonna block this. There's no reason to, I don't believe. Give me a land. Damn it. An Anax. Alright, well, we'll get down to another Mayhem Devil. And we actually can get down that other Anax if we want to. So we can swing in with the first one. Alright, so we'll swing in with this card. Big ol' 8-3. Well, at least get tradesy here. Now they can block with the smallest horn beetle. They're not going to block at all. That's a little crazy, if I do say so myself. But we will go ahead and play this Anax. Actually, cancel. I think it'd be better if we Witch's Oven this one first. Alright, so we get to deal 3 damage here, so we can take out one of these beetles. We're going to get 2 of these little satyr creatures back. Then we're going to play another Anax down. Auto pay. And there we go. That's how it's done, boyos. Now we do have Fling in the deck. You'll have to remember that. So if we can Fling that Anax, that is lethal thanks to the Mayhem Devils and Judiths. So it's only a matter of time, Mr. Opponato. Also, I'm not seeing any life gain in their deck, so yeah, they really should be careful. Another Witch's Oven. We could actually just start sacrificing creatures left and right, especially our little satyrs, which we probably will start doing. We're going to sacrifice these foods and these satyrs this turn and get in some good damage. Now, they won't deal 3 because Judith says it only procs on non-token creatures, and they are tokens, so good thing to keep in mind. Thankfully, they drew into another Yorvo, so even if they play it down, they have to sacrifice something, you know? Hydra's Growth on the Yorvo. That is scary, but it doesn't give it trample, so nothing to worry about. We will pass to attackers. Alright, it's going to go straight to my turn, so we'll sacrifice the food. We're going to gain some life. 2 damage from here. 1 there, 1 there. We're going for the face because that's the only place that matters for right now. And we are going to sacrifice these little satyrs. These little sadistic fucks. Alright, and Coyote. You know what? We won. That's all that really matters. So, new Aristocrats, red-black, picking up the victory, but y'all see how damaging it is. And imagine if we had drawn a Kroxa, right, and made them discard, flung it, even drawing into a Kroxa, and then it sacrificing itself. It procs Judith, it procs Mayhem Devil, it procs everything in this deck. It's so fantastic. Now, we're going to go and hop right into the Draw to Death deck, and then on the third one, depending on how this deck goes, we may swap back, but we'll have to see. Great F, gonna be our second foe for the day. Alrighty, we'll keep this first hand. Alright, we'll hit him with the drill bit. Ritual set isn't fantastic. Neither There's a Deathless Knight. Tell you what, let's just take away their Glow Spore for now. And then we'll make them discard some more. If they want to discard lands and throw off their curve, that's fine. Oops. Not understanding. Ooh, Shadow Spear. Alright, so we'll get in for 2 more damage. This is going to be a bit of a slow one, huh? They're probably about to go ahead and Ritual Soot my creatures. No, that's very odd. Alright, well I will Burglar Rat again. I don't mind losing the rats. Especially since we're not drawing any lands, so apparently neither one of these decks are any good at drawing any lands, even though they both have 24 in them. Fantastic, a land, finally. Now, they did Ritual Soot us, but we knew it was coming, so is it really that bad? We're going to go ahead and get down the Underworld Dreams, as that is our clock ticker. So, every turn, every draw, they will have to deal 1 damage to themselves. We could hit them with the Davriel. I kind of like that idea since they are already so low on cards. Hit them with the Davriel and make them discard 1. Get them dealing 2 damage from Davriel and 1 damage from Underworld every single turn. Hopefully they'll be dead sooner rather than later. We do have another Kroxa in hand. And if Grey Merchant comes down, it deals 4 damage. So a lot of things to look at here. Do I want to pay for that though, actually? Because going up to 4 doesn't do anything for us. Unless, can we hit that Kroxa out of the graveyard? We can't because it is our 5th card. So we will enter that tapped. We will hit him with a Davriel.
Perish the thought.
And then with another Kroxa. Argument could be made that we should have went for Boding Fruit there, so on our next turn we would have 5 cards in our graveyard, one of which not being a Kroxa, right? Okay, so that Death Sprouted. Well, we'll still get to deal the 3 damage. And then 2 from Davriel, 1 here, so they're down to 5 already. So y'all can see the true power of this deck it's really annoying too. Right, it's really annoying because both of these two are they're just timers. So is Obnixilis. It's just a timer, you know. So you're sitting here just sort of making sure their board isn't getting too heavy. Now you can obviously play more removals in this deck if you want to, but I really wanted to showcase the whole deck. So they'll probably play the Murderous Rider back down here, but if I can draw into a land, that's a Grey Merchant, and that's death. That is complete death. No, I can't actually. But we can play a Kroxa and that's death. That's complete death. So that is still a GG on a game 1 with the kill yourself deck. With a draw yourself to death deck. So come on back, Kroxa, in this game in such a lovely fashion. Alrighty. So both of our Rakdos decks actually did very well today. I I'm going to go back and play the new Aristocrats again, because I think that deck was fantastic, and we didn't really get to showcase the new cards like I wanted. MT Grinder, going to be our third foe for the day. Ooh, this is a scary hand to keep, but I will keep it because, again, we're trying to showcase the mechanics of these Flings and these Anaxes, or Anax, I don't know. So, we'll keep it. Temple of Malice, that's not a bad hit at all. Stormfist Crusader, I'll keep her as well. We'll probably lead with the Stormfist instead of the Anax. Elysian Caryatid? Cool. This does draw them more cards as well, and they're trying to ramp. Ah, well, fuck it. Arasta. It's very interesting them to play Arasta in a deck with Caryatid, right? Almost like nonsensical. Alright, so on this turn we can play... whatever we play is going to be able to swing in next turn. We'll play an Anax, and then next turn we can play a Judith and a Mayhem Devil. Now we can swing in with the Stormfist Crusader because she has Menace, so... Yeah, it's interesting them to go for a Rasta instead of something like a Questing Beast in a deck with Caryatid, but... Well, you know, whatever. Doesn't have to make sense. Another Anax. I was completely wrong, by the way. We can't play Judith and Mayhem Devil, so sorry. Next one was scary, but we can just fling an Anax into it, and we have an Anax to replace it. Oh, I should have flung before, right? Whatever. Oh, wait, cancel. Actually, we can do this and this. Kill that thing too. Alright, so we get the Satyrs back. We get to deal 5 damage to the Nyx Bloom, get it out of here, and the Keen-Eyed doesn't get to attack and gets set back. What a play! What a play! What a play! Alright, so if we play... Oh, this is so good. How much can I actually play though? I have 6 mana. Alright, let's do... And we need to go in full control for this. So let's go Kroxa, auto pay, resolve. This is going to be so good. Watch this. Okay, so resolve the first step. Now, do not resolve the second step. And this is why. You want to fling into the face, submit, pay both of these, because we're going to Angrath's Rampage after this. 1 damage from the Judith. We can send that to the face as well. Alright, so fling, 7 to the face, right? Will Angrath's Rampage. They're gonna sacrifice a spider here. No, we won't. But no, I guess that's it. I overhyped that play. I'm sorry. I thought we had lethal here. If we had played a Mayhem Devil instead, would we have lethal? Maybe. If I make them sacrifice something, they sacrifice a creature. Yeah, I don't... Oh, they just surrendered! Well, we were going to get them on next turn for damn sure, so that's alright. Alright, so games 1, 2, and 3 being picked up by our Rakdos decks here. gotta say, they're an absolute blast to play. You don't have to play your cat decks, okay? If you want to play Rakdos, you don't have to play Gats anymore. There's good news. There's great news, okay? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to leave a like down below. As always, I'll see y'all either later tonight or tomorrow. And peace.